Welcome to the Sharpe Way show. So happy to have you with me this evening. It is a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Yes, I made it good timing, and it is a Saturday, so it's time for me to actually do an AMA. So sometimes I do these AMAs, these Ask Me Anythings on Friday. Sometimes do them on Sunday, depends on how busy I am. We had that special show yesterday talking about the policies for the people. I hope you guys enjoyed that new idea. So that was kind of interesting to have that on. We've had a lot of good things going on about the elections coming up here. And I thought tonight I'd open it up to just questions in general, as I often do. But I want to bring up something as I start off, as I always do, something that kind of bugged me that I thought might give you some inside baseball. And what is it? I received a mailer this week. Here's a mailer. I will see if I can, let me scratch off. I mean, you probably know where I live, but I'm going to scratch off my address so you don't have that there, so you don't see all those goodies. But I do live in New York. That's for sure. I do live in New York. So and I live in New York City. I'm not lying about that part. That is true. But here's a mailer I got. It's a mailer saying how we can't trust this guy, Mario Matera. We can't trust this guy. He puts New York women at risk because in New York, abortion rights are on the line. Okay, you might go, Larry, that's a good advertisement, right? Yeah. Abortion's a big deal. We should use that. This guy, Mario, must be a bad guy. This isn't the national election. They're asking me to be worried about this guy for a local election. New York State Senate, New York State. So we have to vote for him because women's rights, women are at risk. It says right there, women are at risk, right? The rights, they're on the line here. In New York, so again, New York. That's a bold-faced lie. Now you might go, but Larry, there are issues with this across the country. True, there are. Not in New York State. New York State has literally zero, and I don't mean 1%, I don't mean 2%, I mean 0% of having any effect on women's rights for the next 20 years. Zero. No chance, again, within New York State. This may be different in the states. I'm not talking about the states. This is a local election, state Senate, New York State Senate, local election here in a state that not only have we codified women's rights in New York State law, it's codified, number one. Number two, Democrats have a super majority in a state assembly and a majority in the state Senate. And we have a governor who will be Democrat for at least the next 10 years. At least there'll be a Democrat. I mean, unless someone like, I don't know, me might win, but unless someone else wins, that's going to happen. There is no chance of that being true at all. So why would you do it? Why would you say this knowing that in this state, not a thing, like not a thing in this state for a local election? You might go, well, Larry, you're trying to get people to vote for this guy. Maybe I could buy that. So here's the other part that's odd. He's in District 2. I'm in District 59. I'm not even in the same district. I can't vote for this guy. Not just that, I'm not even a registered Democrat. I'm not a registered Republican. So I can't vote. I can't vote in the primary for anybody. The general election, I could in theory vote for him, but I can't because I'm not in his district. I'm in District 59. He's in District 2. So he's 2 districts away from me. Not even a neighboring district. There's a district in between him and me. So it's me, another district, him. He's actually on Long Island. He's northern Nassau. Now, for those of you who know New York State, or particularly downstate, North Shore, Nassau County, Republican. It's much more Republican. That area is much more Republican than it's Democrat. And he's won the last 2 times by a decent margin, 58 to 30 something, 42, like that, give or take in that area. So he's won by 15 points twice in a row. So he's not really in danger of losing. Wait a minute, it makes no sense whatsoever. Why do you, and they know where I live, they know who I am. They know I'm not in his district. So I get a mailer for some guy who's not going to lose in a district that I'm not in about an issue that does not affect me at all and will not affect anybody in New York State at all. None. Well, then you might say, Larry, well, what about your district? Did someone send you mailer? No. The woman who my Senate state senator is a woman named Gonzalez. She won her last election. You're going to think I'm joking. The stuff I say sounds unrealistic. By 98 points. Yeah, not 19 points. She won by 98 points. She won 99 to 1%. Again, I wish I was joking, but as you know, my saying, I'm not joking. She won by 98 points. Why would you win by 98 points? Republicans don't run anybody in my district. I tell you this all the time. They don't run anybody. They stop running. Why bother? You cannot win in my area. It is impossible. You cannot win. You can't raise any money. Ooh, we hear raising money, don't we? You can't raise any money in my district either. Why? You can't raise any money because why would you bother? 99 to 1. She won by 98 points. A 98-point spread when she won last time. 1% of people wrote people in it to be pissed off. So I go 1% of, I don't care. That happened anyway because that's New York. That's most places. You get 1% go to hell. So you get 1% go to hell vote, write-ins, and 99% her. Most people didn't bother showing up. Why would you? Why would you? See, I go, wait a minute, that's crazy. Why? Yes. So when you tell me, oh, Larry, democracy is on the line, I don't have democracy. I don't have that. Where I live, it might as well be North Korea. It might as well be Ba'athist Iraq with Saddam Hussein. There's a difference. They got 98% too. So does Kim Jong-un. He gets 98% also, just like my state senator. No difference. It's the same thing. That's how bad it is. Okay, so I want to show you how bad it is where I live. And this is in many places. I'm not the only guy who has this problem. I know many people do, which is why democracy on the line doesn't move me at all. I don't have it. My vote does not count. This election coming up here in the next 3 weeks, my vote means nothing. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. There's no hyperbole in that at all. My vote means nothing. It is irrelevant. Whether I vote or not, it means nothing. It will affect nothing in no way, shape, or form. I'll vote anyway because go to hell, I'm going to vote. That's the reason why I have to virtue signal vote this year. Again, which I do almost every year. I'd hoped this year I wouldn't be virtue signal voting because that's what I usually have to do because I have no power at all. So I was hoping that this year RFK Jr. would be on my ballot and I'd be able to vote to give someone a third party in my state. But my piece of garbage judiciary here in New York State decided, no, we don't want that. We don't care about your rights. So I have to virtue signal vote again. So I got upset. And when I got this, I got more upset because why would you do it? Why? This guy is gonna win. The person in my district is gonna win. So why do you send this? Only one reason: to raise money. That's the reason. Why do you keep getting emails or text messages when you already know who you're going to vote for? And they know you're going to vote for. Why? To raise money. They want to scare you into thinking something's wrong. Otherwise, you check out. So if they don't scare people and thinking, oh, it's bullshit, it's going to destroy all the New York women. It's not. It's a fantasy. It's not. It's not going to affect New York women at all. Not even close. It's not going to affect New York women at all. But doesn't matter. People get scared and they'll start giving money. Now, the reason why, hold on. This is paid for by New York State Democratic Senate Campaign Committee. So it's a PAC, and the PAC wants to raise money. So they send this out, hoping that all the people will look at this and go, oh my God, this guy's about to destroy all women's rights. We better send money to these guys. Yes, it's to raise money for a PAC. That's what it's for. Raise money for a PAC. You get scared, you start sending cash. That's what they want. You get scared, you start sending cash. It's blatantly dishonest in my view, right? It's blatantly dishonest. Why not send a note instead, right? Why not send a note instead that says, hey, we're worried that if we don't get enough Democratic people into Congress, that we'll lose the House and they'll ban abortion across the country or whatever. That's a scare they've been using. Use that one. At least that's more realistic. It's honest. So you think, okay, this is a blatant lie. And I'm sure when this went out, they raised money. Because they wouldn't do it if it didn't work, right? If this didn't work, they wouldn't be doing it. And I get this kind of stuff every week. I get the emails just like you do. I get the phone calls like you do. I get this stuff just like you do. We all get this kind of crap. For what? To raise money. That's the issue. To raise money. It drives me crazy. Guys, I'm glad you're on tonight. If you are on tonight and you want to say some things, feel free. You can click the like button. It does matter. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, please retweet it now. Reshare it now. You can subscribe on YouTube or Facebook, either Larry Sharpe or Sharpe Way, doesn't matter. You can also Sharpe with me on Larry Sharpe and on Sharpe Way. Now, if you want to super chat goes on both now if you want to. You can also be a member on either if you want to, right? You can be a member on either, whichever one you prefer. You prefer Sharpe Way, be a member on that. It's now available. So you can join there. If you want to join the Larry Sharpe, all good. Memberships, either way, it doesn't matter. Click that like button so that we can keep moving forward. I do appreciate every bit that I can. Let me try to grab a couple here. Let me grab, if I could, immediately. Let's see here. Lunatic Libertarian, you should send me a link. I can introduce myself. Then I can ask you questions and super chat you live. You know what? Lunatic, you're banned on X, but you were on Instagram. Is that correct? I think that's where you and I chatted. Sorry, for you guys don't know, I'm on a lot of social media. I'm actually on about 19 different total pages / platforms. So I can't cover all of it. So I often miss things. That's why I have a team that helps me out. A couple of people, Missy here is one of them. I have a couple of others who help me out here and kind of direct me things. So I will sometimes get lost on things. So if you send something to me and I forget it, send it again. Just send it. I don't get upset. If you send something I didn't get, just send it again. I never get upset. I get a lot of stuff that comes to me. I miss some of it. My team will nudge me. They'll go, hey, and Missy's one of them. Missy will be like, Larry, did you check this guy out? He reached out twice. So please do it. Yes, I will. I'm happy to. I just sometimes get overwhelmed. And I still work during the day most of the time. So it's tough for me to deal with these issues. But yes, please do so. Thank you for the $5. Peace Logic. Your power is this YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Peace Logic. The $5 does matter. Every little bit does count. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So let me grab a couple more of these if I can. All righty. Vivek says, what did you think of the Alfred E. Smith dinner and Zelensky's victory plan? I'll grab both of those if I could. I think the dinner it's usually good, right? The Al Smith dinner is usually a good dinner. People like it. They tell jokes. They crack stuff. It's nice. I think Trump did well. I think most of them did well. It was a lot of back and forth. I really think that Harris should have shown up. I really do. And again, they should have scripted her. I think she was probably busted up from that Fox thing, and now she's doing her new scripted stuff on the. She's doing the new scripted stuff. People are teasing about the scripted stuff. She's doing her new scripted stuff on the campaign trail, and she's trying to be angry and project strength. If you've noticed, if any of you are watching her, she's now got this arm thing she's doing and whatever, and this important seal, and she can't get the fact that most Americans now don't care about the authority symbols. But she just isn't. She's a former prosecutor. She thinks authority matters. Symbols matter. The establishment matters. Most Americans just don't care anymore. We're like, what can you do for me? Your symbols don't mean anything to me. Your establishment, and people don't trust the establishment anymore. She can't get past that. And neither can her team, sadly, or she's ignoring her team. Trump doesn't say stuff like that. Trump attacks the establishment all the time. So does RFK Jr. All they do is attack the establishment. And people are eating it up. They're eating it for dinner. To be forward, even Obama did it. So did Bernie. The popular people attack the establishment. We haven't liked the establishment in decades. Decades we haven't liked the establishment. As Americans, we've been anti-establishment for decades. We've been trying to get a rebel since 2008. People believed wrongly, but they did believe that Obama was going to be different. He was going to be the rebel. Clearly, he was not. But I'm just saying people did believe it. Lots of people bought that. They bought the whole hope and change thing. This guy's a rebel. He's going to change everything. Well, we saw how that worked out. But the point was, we were looking for a rebel back then. 2016, clearly looking for a rebel. Left was looking for Bernie. Right was looking for Trump. And it hasn't changed. So the idea that she is going to sit here and do that is insanely dumb. Now, the reality of it is she's not a good candidate, as I say all the time. But she's actually pretty good, totally scripted. She's actually not bad scripted. And that's why they're scripting her. That's why she keeps falling back to the same things, because she's good at it. If I was working with her, Vivek, I'd do the same thing. I'd be scripting her because she's good at it. So why wouldn't I do that? So what they should have done is done what Trump did. Trump was reading a bunch of those jokes. So what? People still laughed at it. Should have given her scripted jokes. Give her entire script, have her practice it, and do it. It's a one time. The problem is now she's doing her scripts and she's doing them consistently on the stump. So now people keep seeing the same scripts. She doesn't do, what does Trump call it? The weave. The weave. As Trump like weaves stories and all that kind of stuff in. She's not good at that. So even though Trump's stump is very similar every time, it's very, I mean, he says the same tropes, right? Of course. That's when I campaign, I say the same stuff too. It's absolutely true. I get it. But you got to weave some stuff in so it isn't exactly the same every time, right? And good candidates do that. And again, I go back to one of my favorite candidates, not president. My favorite candidates, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton could make every single time he spoke seem like it's the first time you heard it. Very good candidate, right? Very good candidate. Trump's good candidate. He can weave stuff in. He can do it. Harris can't do that well. It's not a skill set. So stop this on the stump. Throw Waltz out there. Have him do his hokey stuff, right? It's fine. Throw him out there. It's fine. Have him do that, right? Have your surrogates go out there. Have that dude Shapiro from Pennsylvania. Have him go out there. Have these guys go out there and do all their sticks. They're better at it anyway. You do scripted stuff. Practice your scripted stuff. She should have gone to that dinner with a total script, with some funny jokes. Come on, she has tons of comedians on her side. She has Hollywood on her side. They couldn't have written something great for her? You couldn't have got the funniest people in Hollywood to write you something? Of course you could have. Of course, that's a mistake. Should have gone. Should have been scripted. Should have read some funny jokes, cracked up. Should have made fun of. Remember how Barack Obama made fun of Trump? Should have done that. This was another lost opportunity for her. And she also looked weak, not showing up. It looked like Trump was stronger than her. It was a total mistake. She should have gone. It's what I've been saying. They don't listen to me. However, I don't know if I'm going to take credit for it or not. Maybe I am. If you see, Trump was talking about RFK Jr. at the dinner, wasn't he? I've been saying this ship is turning, haven't I? I've been telling you that Trump's ship has been turned, that they've been turning the thing right into the right spot. They've been turning it to the right spot. I think they're finally at a spot where they're like, okay, we can integrate, right? In a couple of days, it's going to be this Maha town hall now. That's happening now. I think it is. I hope it is, right? So now we're starting to put Tulsi Gabbard involved, right? Elon Musk involved. They're bringing it all in. This is the way that if Trump, as I said, and this part I predicted. I wasn't prepared to make a prediction on the election yet, but I did say the Trump ship was moving right to where it needs to focus on the unity concept of all the people. And I said, you guys, if you listen, heard me say it. If he can do that well, he wins. It's looking good so far for him. Harris has got to somehow get around this, or she is going to fail. If Trump gets this ship going the right direction with unity in the last 2 weeks, I don't know how he's stoppable. And it looks like he's almost there. She is going to have to come up with some, I don't know, crazy October surprise. Or what I'm saying, go on Rogan, totally scripted, knock it out of the park, blow everybody's mind. Just be so good you blow everybody's mind. That is the only way I could see her getting out of to that point. So I hope that answers your Alfred E. Smith dinner. Zelensky's victory plan is a damn joke. It's a joke. I'm just so surprised that he would even put it out there. Here's what he's actually saying. If you don't do something, there's going to be nuclear war. That's basically his victory plan. Give me everything or there's going to be nuclear war. That's what he's basically saying, which is a silly plan. Because the last thing anyone's going to accept is Ukraine having nuclear weapons again. And for those who don't know, Ukraine did have nuclear weapons, right? It did. And then when the Soviet Union collapsed, we made an agreement. We'll protect them if they give nuclear weapons away. And that did not work at all. But yes, we lied to them too. And of course, as we seem to always do. So yeah, that didn't work at all. So yeah, they're not going to have it happen. To be very forward with all of you, whether you support the Ukrainians or not, this is not a support. This is just factual. If America doesn't throw everything into Ukraine in the next month or two, Ukraine's going to lose this war. Ukraine's going to lose the war no matter what. They were never going to win the war, right? but Ukraine's going to get hammered. Putin's going to get almost everything he wants, and he's going to declare victory. And Ukraine's not going to be in NATO. Not going to happen. None of that's going to happen if America throw everything at it. And my view, not my war. And I know some of you get upset about that, but I am a libertarian. Not my war. We should have never let this happen in the first place, or we should have walked away immediately. If this is really the end of the world, there should be Americans fighting in there. Is it the end of the world? Is it not? Then why are we there? We're just throwing tons of money at it. And here's the worst part. We're throwing tons of money at it, and the outcome is already known. This is the same. And I know you guys hate when I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's the same as Israel's war. We throw tons of money in it, and the outcome is already known. At the end of whatever this Gaza-Israeli war is, at the end, Israel will not have safe borders, and the Palestinian people will still be screwed. They were screwed. That was the case 10 years ago. That was the case 20 years ago. That will be the case next year. I mean, there may be different borders, maybe, or there'll be more dead people on both sides. But overall, Palestinians will still be screwed, and Israel will still not have good borders. Both. Nothing will change. Why? Because the powers that be, you know this, don't want to fix the problem. If they did, they would have fixed it decades ago. It's not getting fixed. Ukraine, same thing. No matter what happens at the end, Russia's not going to pull out of Crimea ever. That's never going to happen. So Crimea is Russian. They're not going to give those ports up. Never going to happen ever. And they're not going to pull out those, four? I think it's four, right? Zaporizhia, Kherson, Luhansk, Donetsk. Is that right? I think I got those four right. It's not going to pull out all four of them. Maybe they'll give one back and make one like that autonomous something, but it's already there. We know it. I talked about this last year. It was never going to change. So the victory plan's a joke. I'm sorry, I went long on that, Vivek, but I wanted to answer your question. I appreciate that. Yes. So, all right. Shelly says, I got a bunch of mailers from the very same incumbents who refused to return my calls after being on the news, saying that they all support people with TBI/stroke. I used to return them to Senate. Yes. They only want you every 2 or 4 years. Completely agree. Grab some more super chats if I could. All righty. Lunatic says, yep, I said your DM underground. Okay, I will check that again, Lunatic. I'm sorry. I do sometimes lose this. I will check that out. Thank you. Yes. Peace Logic, thank you for the $5. What reporters, journalists do you trust and listen to? This is an issue that I have. Right. I have 3 different ways that stuff comes into my head. I watch a lot, believe it or not, of mainstream news. I want to know what the corporate media is thinking. So I actually watch MSNBC. I actually watch CNN. I actually watch Fox News. I try to watch maybe a half an hour here or there when I can. I generally can't watch more than about an hour of each because for someone like me, it's such obvious propaganda. I just want to vomit. It's hard for me to watch. I also try to watch a couple of weekend shows, which give me a good feel on what people are thinking, particularly in the corporate media. I try to watch Fareed Zakaria. He is the ultimate in corporate viewpoint, right? Whatever Fareed says, corporate believes, right? He is the official corporate media. So, and he's usually international. So if they think whatever, Israel's going to win, Israel's going to win, right? If they think Ukraine's, that's what they all think, right? Whatever he says, he's completely establishment. So to understand the establishment, I usually watch Fareed Zakaria on Sundays. I usually watch Michael Smerconish on Saturdays. I don't always catch it, but I record it on my DVR no matter what. Talking about it too. Smerconish is probably the best mainstream guy in the business. Now, is he perfect? No, of course not. But when it comes to mainstream guys, he's the best. He is the fairest that you're going to get. If you think that he's unfair, everyone else is worse. He is the fairest, hands down. He's the only guy who ever guest hosted both an MSNBC CNN and Fox show the same week. He did both sides. So Smerconish is out of Philadelphia. He's a CNN guy too, and so is Fareed Zakaria. So those two guys I will watch most of the time. I trust them with what they're saying, if that makes any sense. Like when Fareed says stuff, I recognize he is saying this is what mainstream corporate America believes, right? So I get that. That's the word. So I know where their heads are, if that makes sense, right? Smerconish gives the most pushback. If he's pushing back, you can hear his audience will push back on him all the time. He'll say, what about Trump? Whatever, just say that like that. And there'll be 85 emails going, you love Trump, you hate America, boom. So, he's the pushback guy. I used to watch The Hill when Brianna Joy Gray was on it because I felt the back and forth was valuable, right? Now it's hard to watch. I know Robbie Sauvé, but It's hard to watch The Hill, but sometimes I watch The Hill still because I want the back and forth to get kind of both sides of it. And the advantage of Brianna Joy Gray is she's not corporate left. She's left, right? She would call herself a leftist. She wouldn't call herself a Democrat or even a liberal. And that's valuable to know because there's a large chunk of America that most people on the right think everyone on the left is the same. They're not. The left is very varied and different. And Brianna Joy Gray was more of a leftist than she was corporate left, which I thought was pretty good. It was good to hear that, right? The other side is podcasts will pop up all the time. So my feed has a lot of podcasts that pop up. So if I want to hear more right-leaning people, like PBD, Patrick Davis, far more right-leaning. So I'll pick up some of his stuff because he's going to have more of a right-leaning viewpoint compared to someone like Brianna Joy Gray, who have a left-leaning viewpoint. So I grab both of them. So do I trust them to tell me what they believe? Yes, 100%. Whether I agree with their take, two separate things. So I think those are ones I commonly listen to, but I have another advantage. And the advantage is lots of people send me stuff all the time. Lots of people, they send me ideas, they send me concepts, they send me things to look at. So I get stuff every day. So I can look at and say, oh, what's this? And it'll be some new person I never even heard of. And I'll just watch one of the shows. And then when that happens, I'll see, okay, does that match with other things I've heard? And I use a YouTube algorithm to help. I use Rumble to help. So if YouTube gives me something, I see what are the other things, who else is saying stuff. I'll then take the bottom or whatever. I'll take whatever the idea is, and I'll put that into the search bar and see who else is talking about it. And I'll pop one or two more up to see all those. And I scan through it because a lot of it's going to be garbage. I know already. So I'll zip through it and pick up pieces that I like, and I sort of listen and see. So I do a lot of that. So I hope that answers your question. I don't have a specific people in mainstream, then I do homework. How about that? Is that better? People in mainstream, then I do homework. And I will use the YouTube algorithm or the Google algorithm to help me to find more stuff based upon the ideas. So I hope that was clear. All righty. So many of these things. All righty. VAC, how are you? So thank you for being a member. I just drove through most of Pennsylvania, the western part at least. It's a beautiful area. I've seen so many billboards and signs, most of them contradict each other. There we go. Yes, absolutely. That liberal lady says, I shared on all the platforms. I love Larry Sharpe saying Mace. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes. All righty. The AC goes on to say, I'm not the AICHC. Oh, got it. Okay, yes. Was bashing Cori Bush. They didn't say anything about Israel or Palestine at all. They said she doesn't backbites agenda and other BS as well as the other. Of course, yeah, right. There are several reasons why PACs are negative, right? One of the reasons is it's easy to not get sued. Our laws when it comes to PACs and campaign finance, we're supposed to help. They've only hurt. The more laws we put in, the worse it gets. It is terrible, right? It is absolutely terrible. So what happens is if you actually say something nice about your candidate, they'll sue you and go, you're coordinating. What? Yes, they'll say you're coordinating. Why? Because you said that he's nice. Well, no, we just like him. No, but that means you looked at what his website was or whatever. They'll say you're coordinating, and now you have a complaint. If you just say other guy bad, that's not coordinating, so it's fine. It's actually safer to do negative advertisements. So they do. The system's set up to encourage negative advertising. I mean, they would do it anyway if they could, but it's encouraging. So of course they would. Yes. So, see if I can grab a couple more of these. Oh my God, so many of these. All righty. Okay, well, do you have a joke here? Okay, hold on. The AC's got a joke. I think it's a joke. We'll find out. I'm gonna walk down this road. Hope you didn't walk into something stupid. We'll find out. A man goes to borrow a lawnmower from his neighbor, and the neighbor says, I can't loan you my lawnmower right now. My wife is sick. And the guy says, what does your wife being sick have to do with you loaning me your lawnmower? And the guy says, quotes, it's my lawnmower. I can give you any excuse I want. I guess. Oh, that's the joke? That it's I can give you any excuse I want. I guess that's true. Is that a joke? I'm not sure. I put up there anyway. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. So yeah, there we go. Thanks. I guess. Yes, absolutely. So John says, Larry, for anyone who's not caught up, can we go over Prop 1? I will do New York Prop 1 on one of my Sharpe Way radio shows, which is a New York-based show. So I'll do it probably either this Tuesday or next. So I will talk about Prop 1, but that's New York specific. I will cover that either on this Tuesday or next Tuesday, probably this Tuesday, but I will cover it. Yes, John, I will. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So, Peace Laws, thank you for $10 in the super chat. Some of the reporters I listen to are Glenn Greenwald. I like Glenn. Matt Taibbi. Yep, like Matt. Kim Iverson, she's a friend of mine. Been on her show more than once. Breaking Points, just on Breaking Points on Saturday. What do you think about these journalists, especially like Glenn? I've never met Glenn, to be fair with you. Him, I've never met. I met Matt Taibbi once. But Glenn seems like a very, what I like about Glenn more than anything is he's very anti-war, which I like. But I think the best thing is he's trying his best to not be corporate media. And that's challenging because he came from corporate media, right? It's challenging, but I think he does a very good job of it. So I like that idea of him not being corporate media. Matt Taibbi too, I think he also is trying. I don't think Matt's found his place yet, though, to be forward with you. Matt, again, coming from corporate media, or maybe mainstream media to be better. I'm not sure how I would actually define Matt. One of those two. I don't think he's found his home yet. Glenn has found his home. Like, he knows where he is. Kim also found her home. So yeah, she's good. I love Kim, friend of mine. Been in a show more than once. She actually she co-moderated a debate with me earlier this year. So yes. Breaking Points. I like Breaking Points. I watch them often. I think the back and forth between Sagar and Krista is very good. I like the back and forth more than anything because instead of someone just going, this is what's right, they talk back and forth, and I get to figure out what I like between the two. So I probably watch Breaking Points at least, if it's 5 days in a week, 4 days, I watch some pieces. Sometimes I'll just watch the first couple minutes, and then the chat back and forth isn't that valuable to me because I know what they're going to say already. So I just go, okay, I'll watch the first 2 minutes of a segment and move on. But sometimes I want to hear what they have to say. So generally speaking, if you were to watch me go through YouTube on any given day, you'd probably be angry at me. Because I'll go 2 minutes. Okay, that's enough. Next. 2 minutes. Okay, that's enough. Next. Oh, hold on. Then someone just go to the end. What's the end? What's the wrap up? Okay, that's the wrap up. I see where they went. And then I'll go back and forth. So I'll do that a lot. So yeah, but Kim's one of my favorites. I like her too. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you. All righty. If I can go down here and grab a couple more. All righty. Let's see here. Mike. Hey, Mike, how are you? He says, I'm getting flowers from Southern Tier about a congressional race. Though I'm registered in the Bronx for more than a year. Makes no sense. Exactly. Same thing. They're hoping you're going to write them a check, man. They want you to put your credit card in. That's what they care about. Yes. The AC says, when I submitted my ballot 2 weeks ago, most of the Republicans were running unopposed. Yeah. I live in New York. Most Democrats run unopposed. Yes. Judges run unopposed. People run unopposed. We've given up. That's the hardest part. We've given up. And since we've given up, they do whatever they want, which is why I say vote anyway. Vote anyway, right? It doesn't matter. Vote anyway. Go there and vote anyway. I don't care, even if you know it doesn't matter, because they want you to not vote. They want you to not vote. Andrew says, I don't blame anyone for not wanting to vote this year. Or they're coming. I agree. I think you should vote anyway because to hell with them. But yeah, I'm with you. Pete's teasing me. Vote harder. That's my problem. I didn't circle a dot hard enough, Pete. That's my problem. I got to circle it hard. Then it'll count. I'm not voting harder. You're right. Pete, shame on me. I should do that. 100%. I get that. All righty. I'm going to grab some more of these. All righty. All right. John says, Larry, I wish you were wrong, but you're not. Yeah, it's all about that. It's 100%. It's all about that. Shan is up. How are you? What's up, everyone? I do appreciate you are here. Absolutely. All right. Brian says, have you seen that Raytheon has to pay nearly $1 billion in fines for defrauding the DOD? I did not know that. I guess the DOD didn't get enough cash. Or maybe someone didn't get enough cash. They were like, you got to pay some extra cash somehow. So I wonder how much profit they made. Right? So the issue with the reason why the military industrial complex is so lucrative is because it's basically a monopoly and it's all high priced. And if they screw up, they just get paid more. So I'm sure Raytheon will be unhappy to pay the $1 billion. if they paid it all. They may make a deal and say, we can't afford it. How about we give you 100 million? And they'll go, okay, because they just want money, right? Because this helps support them. So they defrauded us. Do American people get the money? No. Why take that $1 billion and divvy it up among American families, households, right? Because they defrauded us. No, we're not getting it. The government gets that money. So the government's like, you were mean to us. Give us more money. And they go, okay, here's $1 billion. So now my next deal that I make up, I'll just throw extra $1 billion on top of it so I make my money right back. This is a joke. This, again, is the idea that, yeah, we're cleaning up things. No, you're not. The government's getting paid. The government has to keep running, so they just take that money back for them. We don't get that money. Could you imagine if you take $1 billion, divided it by the, whatever, 100 million households America has, or however many, I think it's 100 million, whatever the households we have. I think it's 100 million. I said, okay, we're going to give everybody, whatever, $100, whatever the number that is. Is it $10? Whatever. Everybody gets $10. Right? Because Raytheon screwed up. Everybody gets $10. There you go. Enjoy that. You get 2 Starbucks coffees on Raytheon. See that? Done. That's how that works. Yes. John says, new polls have shown around 2/3 of people have very little to absolutely no trust in corporate media. The other 1/3 hasn't woken up to the BS. Yeah. And so right, this is the point, right? The entire idea you bring up, John, is that most Americans now don't trust establishment in general. So why in the world would Harris be out there going, and this special whatever seal that he can never be behind again, or whatever she's saying, and all these economists, they say I'm right or whatever. 2/3 of Americans don't care. 2/3 of America have very little or no trust in the establishment, period. Not just corporate media. So why do you care? Why do you care? Because what Harris is an elitist. And I'm not trying to attack someone who's an elitist. I know people who are elitists. It doesn't mean they're bad by default. What it means is they can't communicate to non-elitists. That's the problem. Hillary Clinton, elitist. That's why she go basket of deplorables. You poors. That's how she thinks. So does Harris. Thinks exactly the same way. You poors. We are your betters. Why won't you just listen to us? Just listen to us. We are your betters. Right? That's how it works. You saw it if any of you happen to watch. Another one I mentioned, sorry, Peace Logic. I also, I'm having more and more trouble watching it, but it's Bill Maher. Bill Maher has been just embarrassingly bad these last 2 months, 3 months, because he really has TDS bad. And he says, I don't have TDS. He's a bad guy. And he will never understand. Okay, I got it. Trump's a terrible guy. Got it. Okay. Why are half of the people still voting for him? He's a bad guy. Okay. Why are half of people still voting for him? Because Harris is terrible. Because his words, this is his words. Because they hate you. That's Bill Maher's words. And he has completely abandoned his own words because he has TDS. He does badly. It's been hard. But if you watched him, it was him and hold on. He was on, and his 2 panelists were, oh my God. The guy, Joe Scarborough from Morning Joe, and the guy from Shark Tank, Mark Cuban. Oh my God, was an elitist Democrat fest. Yes, Trump is this so bad, and democracy matters. And I'm like, you guys are elitists. Do you even understand who? I guess you're just talking to other elitists. Does anybody understand what you're saying? I mean, I don't get it. Populism is popular, not just on the right. Populism is popular on the left too. Left or right, populism is popular. And it hasn't always been throughout the American history. It hasn't always been popular. It is now, right? People are attacking Bernie Sanders now because he's no longer a populist. They loved him. You go back 8 years, this country loved Bernie Sanders. Why? He was a left populist. And populism is by default popular. Well, not in America always, but now it is. And they have not figured out that the answer is not establishment. The answer is populism in some form, right? In some form. And they're not getting it. The Democrats are in trouble. They're not getting it, John. I think you're correct. Absolutely. So, all right. Missy agrees with me. I was a former Democrat who believed Obama would change things. Yes, I know. Yeah, you're not alone. Tens of millions of Americans bought that game too. You're not alone. Yes, 100%. 100%. Andrew says it. She goes, we all had our political philosophical journeys. Yep, 100%. Yes. Lorenzo says, it's a game of psychology since people have a checkers mentality when it comes to politics. Speaking of which, I'll have to reread Influence. Oh, Influence, Science, and Practice. That was a good book, by the way. Yes, absolutely. So I think you're right? It is a game sometimes of that. Understanding that this can be a problem too. Think of people who are stuck in a logical mindset, who are thinking, no, it doesn't make sense because it's emotional, it's psychological, it's all the things, right? It's all the things. That's an issue. Mike says, Harris has no imagination. She can't innovate. True. Partial lack of knowledge on the issues and no core values to uphold. I think that's 100% accurate. But again, if she's your candidate, Mike, you got to play to her strengths, right? If you're consulting her and you're on her team, you recognize the weaknesses in your candidate, and these are accurate weaknesses. You're correct. So why would I put her out in that world when I know these things are true, right? If either, but then again, sometimes candidates don't care. You can say whatever you want, and the candidate goes, I'm the candidate, I'm gonna go do. All right, do you go, right? What are you gonna do? You can't control your candidate. I wish you control candidates. You can't always control them. But if I'm her and I'm listening to my people, I'm saying, no, go to scripted events that are big, heavy hits, and that's it. And that's it. Go on the big, heavy hitter places, scripted up to, exactly what we're saying, scripted to the hilt, right? Prep for 3 days each. Instead of spending 3 days in Michigan, which no one cares, she's getting attacked. Don't do that. Send Waltz. You got guys. Send whatever. Don't send Shapiro to Michigan. But send Shapiro someplace. Send people where you got to send them. You take your 3 days in the basement, get prepped, and go on Rogan. Take your 3 days in the basement, go on Patrick Bet David. Take your 3 days in the basement. That's what I'd be doing. 3 days, next big one. 3 days, next big one. 3 days, next big one. That's what I'd be doing. So I'm agreeing with you, Mike, and I'm saying I still got a candidate I got to work on. So regardless. So anyway. Love my canine. Thank you for being a member. I do appreciate it. The Maha Town Hall is scheduled for Tuesday. Yes, I think it's going to happen. Yes, I think it's going to happen. Yes. Sharon says, how come they don't listen to you more, Larry? I don't know, because you guys don't click the like button enough. There we go. I just blamed you, Sharon. How's that work? I'm kidding. I don't know. But maybe. Click the like button. Maybe that's the reason why. I don't know why. But look, maybe Trump's listening. The team maybe listen to me. I've been saying this since he was on the National Association for Black Journalists. I've been talking this since then. Tell them they got to move this ship. They got to do it. I know it's a big ship, right? It's a full-out campaign. Lots of stuff going. You got to integrate people. It's not easy to do, right? The campaigns I've been on have not been this big. I mean, minor compared to those campaigns. So I know it's a big task, but that's no excuse, Shane. You got to do it. And I feel like they're doing it. I feel like it's moving, right? I feel like it is moving, and I think it may work. So maybe they should look. That but I've been equal opportunity. I've been giving Trump advice. I'm giving Harris advice right now. They don't listen though. They don't. The problem that could Trump's people actually listen to someone like me? Yes, they could. Why? Because they are a mixed match of different groups of people who are all together. And if they hear some good ideas, they might actually use them. And some of them actually know who I am, would one or two maybe watch this show and get some ideas. Maybe could happen. So that's possible. I don't know if they listen to me, but it is physically possible that someone did. They should have. I'm going to say they did if they win. They did. I'm going to say they didn't. So I'm just going to take credit either way. But who knows? But the idea that Democrats would listen, the democratic system right now is a monolith. And again, I want to be fair. That wasn't always true. If you go back 50 years, sadly, that long, if you go back 50 years, that was not a Democratic Party. It was a different party 50 years ago. And that's why people like, Bobby Kennedy Jr. thought, oh, I can fix it because I still remember that party of the 70s. That party's long gone. That party, that's not Democratic Party at all. And I think some people still think that. So, yeah. Anyway, hope that answered your question. His defense says, my father sent it in $20 for Trump in 2016. They send twice every week in the mail donation request there. Yes. Yeah. I'm worse. And Mike knows this person. When I'm telling him personally, he knows this. If you want to be involved in the Republican Party in any way, shape, or form here in New York State, it's pay to play. Democrats too, but Democrats were never going to talk to me ever. They just, because again, they're a monolith. They're not going to talk to me. They don't care. They don't want to hear me. They're not talking to me. So if I want to get involved with Republicans, meaning getting them on my side, gather donors, I have to go to places where the Republicans show up. A lot of their dinners are very expensive to get in. Cheapest, $100. I would spend $500 a plate, $1,000 a plate to get into these areas so I can meet different Republicans, meet their consultants, meet their donors, do that kind of stuff. Well, when you drop that kind of cash, you get a lot of emails and a lot of mailers. So I get you into defense completely. Yes, I'm on the list where they call me, where I'm like, I have to, the probable spam, get rid of that stuff, because they will call me like, now, would I drop another $1,000 a plate to get someplace? I would do it for Democrats too before you, if I thought they listened to me. If I thought there any chance of any of those donors coming my way, I absolutely would drop $1,000 on a dinner or $500. Of course, one donor is $4,000 at least. When I was running for governor, one donor could be $40,000. So would I drop $1,000 to get $4,000? Yes. $1,000 to get $40,000? Yes. Of course I would. So I'm with you, but it's pay to play. Oh my God, Larry's saying it's all about money. Yes, all about money. And I go, why would they make it so high? People can't get in. If you can't spend that kind of money, they don't want you in. That's the point. They use the high price to keep out those poors they don't like. They only want people who can. If you can write a check for $1,000 for a plate, or $500 for a plate, or $150 for a plate, I'm bringing two people. I'm dropping $1,000 or $2,000 to show up at one of these events. I want people in that room who brought 4 people, and some did, who brought 3 people. I want to talk to those people because they can write me a big check when I'm running. So that's why I spend the money. It's an investment. I don't care who's speaking. I mean, there's always like a heavy hitter speaking. I remember the last one I was at, I think, was it? Oh, geez, who was the last person that was speaking? I think it was a South Dakota governor, the last one I was at. I think that's right. Was it? I brought somebody to that one too. Like, so yeah. And generally you don't want to go by yourself. If you're a candidate, which I'm a candidate, I can't go by myself. I can't do that. Am I some kind of chump? Got to have a body man. So I got to bring somebody. So if it's $200 a plate, I'm dropping $400. $500 a plate, I'm dropping $1,000. So I have to bring somebody. So yeah, I got to go there so I can get big donations. It sucks, but that's how it works. So again, I wish it wasn't that bad, but if you ask anyone who's run for office, that's how it's pay to play. It's always pay to play. You guys are talking about scripted, that Rogan won't let her go scripted. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying by this is she's not going to go there with a script, but she's going to be prepped in her head, have a bunch of scripts. Now, she has a team that she pays a lot of money to. She raised $1 billion. There is no excuse for her team to literally be like an NFL coaching squad. I'm not joking. Literally go on Spotify or wherever it's appropriate and watch every single candidate interview. Take notes, understand, get Joe Rogan, figure out what he'll probably ask, what he might ask, what he might not ask. Look at what Brett Baer did. Brett Baer tore to pieces. See what Brett Baer did. What would he do for that? The whole deal. And then prep her for all those questions. Now, will she still mess up here and there? Of course. She's not that good. She's going to mess up. But as long as you get 4, 5, 6 strong sound bites that you can use and play everywhere, that's all you want. Right? So, yeah, she's not going to go there going blah. Of course not. But get people to understand Joe Rogan. I haven't done this. I haven't had to. But if she was my client, yes, my team is not doing this. My team is watching Joe Rogan going, what might he do? What could he do? What's his way? How do we get around it? And then we're going to have people play him. Physically, she's in a room and we play Joe. We sit across the table from each other and just play him and act that way and see how she reacts. It's no different in one way than prepping a witness for trial. It's the same idea. I've done that too. So I'm the bad guy. And I say things when I'm doing trial prep that no judge would let in. Like I literally say stuff the judge would never let in. Why? I'm trying to piss off my witness. I don't know what the prosecutor is going to say. The prosecutor, DA, may say something terrible and get my witness all screwed up. So I got to screw my witness up so they know how to bounce back from being screwed up. Same concept. I know what you're saying. You guys say he's not going to have a piece of paper. I get it. But she needs this. She's a bad candidate. So she needs this. Shannon says she's not going to do it. Mike says he's not going to do it. Yes. Yeah. Pete says she's not going to do it. Yeah, I get it. It doesn't matter. Right? Pete is like, no, it's not going to go well for her. I tell you, I don't think that she has an option right now. I think she's got to do it. Unless somehow Trump screws up bad. I don't know how, but maybe. I mean, you're hoping that Trump somehow screws up terribly. I don't know how that happens. I mean, I don't know. That's not a gamble. I don't want to gamble on Trump screwing up. That's not a good gamble. I get if you want to because you're desperate, but I'd rather go on Rogan. If I have to gamble on Trump screwing up or me getting some really good sound bites on Rogan, I'll gamble on good sound bites on Rogan versus Trump screwing up. I'm not going to gamble on that. That's not a good gamble. It just isn't a good gamble. That's just my view. So, any case, Mike says, I told you about Ukraine. War ends before January if Trump wins. I have to let me define war ends. I do not think there will be a treaty before January. I do not think. I think that's too much to ask. Will there be a ceasefire? Yes. Yes, I would agree with you. I think there'll be a ceasefire. I do not think there'll be an actual treaty. I think that is going to take a lot of time because everyone has to pretend they've won. And that will take time. So ceasefire, I agree. Peace treaty, I disagree. I don't think they'll have a treaty yet. I think that will take time. There'll be a peace treaty, there'll be a ceasefire, and they'll be negotiating it. And because when they negotiate, it's going to be some kind of massive signature and how we've all won or whatever. That's not till spring. That's my view. I would agree ceasefire. I can't see a peace treaty yet. I can't see it. There'll be too much time. They have to make. There's too much propaganda involved, right? Because too many people died. Too many people died. I mean, at the minimum, 500,000 died, right? Probably a whole lot more. But at least 500,000 people died minimum. Well, we won't know for a year or two exactly how many people died in this war. All the wounded, too many people sacrificed too much money, and all the Russia's evil, Ukraine's evil, Ukraine's got the people with the funny symbols, and Putin's going to conquer the world. All that talk for these last years, I'd be shocked if there's an actual peace treaty in January. I can't imagine that. Ceasefire, yes. I can't see a treaty. It's just too much stuff they got to get through. That's just my view. Love my canine. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. I thought I saw something about Trump doing a special thing targeted for women. Are you aware of what happened? Yes, he did a special town hall. Fox News? I think Fox News town hall for women. So yeah. The problem with some of these town halls now is too many of them are completely like they're setups. And Harris is too. This isn't just Republicans, but this one was set up. It was like, let's bring a bunch of Republican women in to ask him how awesome he is. That's why it went so easily. But Harris did exactly the same thing. She did a town hall and it was like, let's bring all the whatever dudes who love Harris in. It was a lot of that. So yes. Kitty, how are you? I'm so glad you're here. I used to try to watch that stuff, but it's unbearable. More power to you for keeping it on. How much worse has it gotten since 2020 or 2016? Actually, this is really bad, Kitty. If you spend an hour watching, say, Fox News, it's just how bad Harris is. That's what it's. Harris bad, Biden, Harris bad. It's the whole hour. I can't watch a full hour. If you watch MSNBC, it's just how evil Trump is, just how evil Vance is. They hate Vance. Oh my God, does MSNBC hate Vance? And it's so obvious. But the ones I hate the most is CNN. And the reason why I hate CNN the most is not because of the most left or not, is because their smugness makes me want to vomit. That's why they're so smug. MSNBC's not smug. They're just like, all Republicans are evil and all Democrats are good. And that's it. And Fox is the same. All Republicans are good and all Democrats are evil. It's just obvious. That's what they are. That's who they are. It's obvious. CNN's like, no, we're neutral. We don't take any of that. By the way, Trump is evil and Harris is awesome. But no. It's just because It's just demonstrably a fact. It's not because we're biased. It's demonstrably a fact. I can't stand it. CNN is just garbage. It's just so, I'd rather watch MSNBC. And somebody like, what? I would rather, yes. At least MSNBC is just straight up. You know what you're getting, right? You know what you're getting. You're getting corporate, Democratic talking points. That's what you're getting. Fox News, you're getting corporate, Republican talking points. It's what you're getting. They're open about it. It's how it works. And yeah, that drives me crazy. So I think it's worse. This year's worse because MSNBC and CNN are scared that Trump is actually going to win this thing, and they didn't make any money off it at all. 2016, they made a killing off Trump. CNN made so much money off Trump. They would watch Trump do anything. Trump could go pick his nose. He'd be like, 3 cameras on Trump. Now they're trying to pretend like, oh, we can't talk about Trump because he's an evil, bad guy. We can't do it anymore. They're not making cash. So yes, it is terrible. Yeah. Liberty, thank you, Liberty Lady. Thank you for that. She's good with me. Yes, I watch main media. Also, and you're right. When you know it's propaganda, you just want to vomit after a few minutes, especially CNN. Yes, CNN's the worst. Because the smugness, right? The smugness is terrible. Ugh. It's just, I can't stand the smugness. It's crazy. So, yes. Anyway, that Liberty goes on to say, I misclaim my news from Lisa Kennedy, where she would have Larry and Spike and Republicans, and yes, even Democrats. The show would tend to shift to everyone telling Democrats they were nuts. Often true. Often true. Yes, that's true. So that is something I do. I did like being on her show. I really enjoyed it. Now, only show I go on using mainstream show is I go on News Nation. Haven't been on there in a while. I was on News Nation about a month ago. Sunday show, Saturday show, another weekend show, and then also I was on their Dan Abrams show a couple times, Thursday, Friday nights. So yes, absolutely. All right, let me see here. Peace Logic, thank you for the $5. Have you watched a documentary called Investigating War Crimes in Gaza? It's Al Jazeera Investigations, Thoughts, Accurate Propaganda. I have not. I don't want to watch that. And hear me out before you yell at me. I already know. It's just going to make me angrier. And it's not going to make me angrier at Gazans or angry at Israelis. It's going to make me angry at my own government. Because all of this could have been stopped. All of it. Years ago. Years ago. Israel has a good border. It's a border with Egypt. It's a good border. Egyptians are pretty happy with it. Israelis pretty happy with it. They are. What Israelis want is good borders. I get it. I'd like them for America too, by the way. Right? I get it. So Israel wants. What do the Gazans want? They want to be represented in the government and live their lives. Get it. Neither one of these two options are unreasonable. Both of these requests are reasonable requests, both sides. You're telling me that America, with all of its power, with its hundreds of billions of dollars it can throw away whenever it wants, with all of its military power, couldn't have solved this problem? Of course it could have. But Larry, it's hard. Hard does not mean impossible. Hard means it's hard. Okay, I got difficult. Okay, so what? With all our money, with all our power, we couldn't have made a situation to where Israel gets good borders like the one with Egypt, and Gazans get a representative government to where they can live their lives. We couldn't have made that happen. There was no way to make that happen. It's BS. BS, of course we could have done it. Might have meant moving people. Maybe. Might have meant changing borders. Maybe. So what? The Russians decided to change their borders, and they're going to get it. They use violence to do so, and they're going to get it. They're going to solve their problem one way or another. You may hate it. You may not. They said, no, we're solving our problem. Again, not saying it's right. I'm not saying you should invade places. I'm not saying that. We could have done it without that. We could have done it without invading. We could have done it without attacking. It could have been done with just cash. Think of all the money that we have given. All the money that we have thrown. For what? We could have fixed this. And that's why I'm not watching. It's going to make me hate my government. I have enough bad feelings about our government. I don't have to go any further. So thank you for that. I'm not going to watch it. Maybe if I run for office again, I'll watch it to motivate me to be more anti-government. But do I need to? I'm not sure. So, but thank you for that. I appreciate it. Off of Rumble, Americua says it's a piety parade. You're at piety, like that about parade. You're asking for common sense. I am. They don't want to fix it, right? We didn't fix our border because we didn't want to fix it. Because we didn't want to. We haven't fixed our medical insurance issue because we don't want to fix it. That's the reason why. We haven't fixed this issue because we don't want to fix it. It is not impossible to make that happen. It's difficult. It's hard. I get it. It is. Absolutely. Difficult does not mean impossible. It just means difficult. So, yes. Anyway, thank you for that, by the way. I do appreciate it. So, let me keep moving down here if I can. Kitty says, Matt Taibbi's awesome. Schellenberger, Sharon. I like Schellenberger. I've met Schellenberger. I like him. I met Matt once. I met Schellenberger a couple of times. We've been at events a couple of times. I met him at, I think, Freedom Fest twice, or Freedom Fest and something else. I met him a couple of times. He's actually very personable. I don't know if anyone happens to know him. He's very personable, chats people up, has good conversations. All good. He's very personable. So it's nice. So I liked him very much. And he's not smug, even though he's very smart. Some people who are smart are very smug. He's not that. So that's kind of cool. So yes. All righty. The AC says, when gerrymandering, the representative choose their, their electorate instead of vice versa. Essentially, the primary is the election. Correct. And I can't vote in a primary because New York State does not have open primaries. So yes, absolutely. Missy says, use the join button to become a member. She's right. You get priority comments, badges, emojis, and a great community. All true. $4.99 a month and help support the show 100%. And you can now, if you want to, you can join from either Sharpe Way or Larry Sharpe. Or if you truly love me, both. And you just, oh my God, I can't wait. I'm going to give Larry all my money. Please do that. I would love that because then I'll spend more time doing this. I could do 2 shows a day. I mean, sometimes I do. There are times when I'm doing media hits where I'll do 3, 4, or 5 a day. Missy goes crazy when she knows I'm doing. There are times she'll tell you, well, I will do 4 or 5 in one day. So I'll do 2 of my own shows and then other people's shows, 2 or 3 during a day. I'll do that many in a day. So I try to get the name out as much as I can, covering as much as I can. So yes, if you can do that, that's very helpful. But no matter what, you can just subscribe. That's free. So if you say, Larry, I'd love to give you $5, but I can't swing it now. Okay. Can you swing a subscribe? Can you swing a follow on Facebook or follow on Twitter? You can swing that, right? That's free. No worries. You can do that. Can you swing a like? You can swing that. That's free too. And you can use whatever appendage you want to use. All good. Can you repost it? You can. Can you reshare it? You can. Absolutely. That's free. Just do that anytime you like. So you can do that. Please do that. Whether you can swing the membership or not, all the other things are free. Please help me do that. It does matter. Every little bit really does matter to move this thing forward. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. All righty. Let's see. The Liberty Lady says, I think he should have them Friday or Saturday night. Any advice for DL, Liberty Dad? I know he's looking forward to being a panel. Yes, Monday, I'm having a panel. It is 9 p.m. I'm having 3 people on, all talking about, believe it or not, men and the men's vote. I will have Adam Coleman, DL Cummings, and Craig Pasta to go. Yes, he will be on also. So yes, we'll have 3 different people on talking about that at 9 p.m. on Monday. That should be a very interesting show. I appreciate that. Yes. Okay. The AC says if she's an elitist, she didn't get to grow up in Oakland. Remember, she grew up a bunch in Vancouver, and she's become an elitist as she's joined the elitist, right? She's forgotten where she's come from. So yes, she is an elitist now. I think she is. When you join that group, I think, yeah. Kitty knew me. She goes, I left a comment on Bill Maher's clip that said, yes, STFU, elitist boomer hack. It got, and it got liked so fast. It's what I was thinking too. 100%. It's what I was thinking too. 100%. Yes. Phil says, one great thing about RFK is rich and doesn't hide it. Come with me falconing and then we'll go to an expensive steakhouse. There used to be better elites who actually took their privilege to serve the community. Bobby never had to worry about the money and took the opportunity to provide legal assistance for causes he believed in. I agree. I think RFK Jr. has done some great things. There's no doubt, right? And There's a couple of things I'll bring up. Obviously, he had a lot of issues. Literally, his dad was killed publicly, right? I lost my dad too, and it did mess me up. And I was raised by a single mom. It did mess me up. There were issues that I had to deal with, of course. And I'm not saying mine are the worst. People have ultimate issues, and you deal with your own issues in your own way. He had his own issues too. And he recognized that the money didn't make his issues go away. And sometimes, while money gives you more options, don't get me wrong, I'm not against money. Please make as much money as you can. It gives you more options. And having more money increases the odds that you can get out of your problem because you have more choices and more options. You have more cash and more resources. It doesn't make them go away. It does increase the odds you can get out of it, though, for sure. If you have no resources, once you go down, it's tough to get back up. It is. If you have resources, you got a shot. Some people still don't get up, obviously, but all the resources in the world, they still collapse. And he's had to deal with those issues. And I think it has made him feel more like he's been searching for purpose most of his life, right? His uncle and his father, clearly that's a shadow that he's in, that looms over him. Of course it does, right? I mean, if your uncle and your dad were that popular, I mean, wow, that looms over you as a kid a lot. So he's been trying to get around that. And I think, generally speaking, he has been that bad. I think he's tried to use his money for the right thing. And he doesn't know who he is. You can't. You're a Kennedy. You cannot hide this, right? Don't try like, I'm one of you. You're a Kennedy. You're not one of us. That's not who you are. And you're right. He doesn't pretend, right? You've seen me do this. I do this when I'm upstate New York. I'm a city boy. Clearly, I'm a city boy. But I go to a farm. Do I go to a farm and go, I don't know, yeehaw or whatever, and put on like a cat hat or something? No, I come the same way I always do. I'm still a city boy. I come here and I say, I respect you. You're a farmer. I respect you. That's all I do. I don't pretend I'm a farmer or pretend I'm a country boy somehow. I'm not a country boy. I'm not a farmer. And I don't try to pretend that I am. And farmers tend to dig that. I go, good. Okay, city boy. Okay, fine. You're who you are. You respect me. I'll respect you. We're good. And I think RFK is more of that than some others who try, like Kamala Harris, all of a sudden changing her accent everywhere she goes, try to be the person she's in front of instead of going, no, you're not that. Just be who you are. So, yes. All righty. Let's see here. I'll grab a couple more of these if I can. Let's see here. The AC is leaving us. Okay. Come on back when you can. I love that. So, yes. All right. Andrew says, in terms future party split, who do you think cracks first? Democrats, Republicans? Is that for me? I'm not sure if that's for me, but I'll answer either way, whether it's for me or not, Andrew. I appreciate it. Let me think. Who cracks first? If Trump loses this, if he loses, I think Republicans crack. If he loses. Because there's still a chunk of Republicans who want to go back to old school McCain, Bush, Republican world. They want to go back to that. As a chunk of them will still do. And there's a chunk who are like, no, we're populist now. We're not that anymore. I think that'll be a fight. If Trump doesn't stay involved, if he goes off and gets angry or whatever, or does something like that, I think there'll be a battle within the Republican Party and it will crack. Right? Is it Vivek? Is it Nikki Haley? Is it whatever? Right? I think they will crack first. If Trump wins, maybe Democrats. Because Democrats are going to have to come up with they're going to have to look inside and say, how did we lose to Trump twice? How did we do that? And in their eyes, remember how they see Trump. He's a twice impeached 34 felon, Jan 6er. They can't imagine. Like, this is unimaginable to them. They cannot imagine that. If they lose to him, they will really have to James Carville will come in and just start whipping people's asses. Like, I think it depends who wins this election. That's my view. If Trump wins this, Democrats have a lot of soul searching to do. If Trump loses and goes away, Republican Party will crack up. There'll be such a battle to replace him, old school versus new school. I think that's my gut, Andrew. That is my gut. So yes. All righty. John goes on to say Republican dinners tend to be at country clubs. Yes, they do. Yes, or venues, right? Professional venues where there's where there is, valet parking, all that stuff. Exactly right. Yes. Mike says, yeah, hell, 150 is minimum for local races. Congress, $500. Yes, 100%. Yes, you want to go to those big boys? Drop them $500 a plate, $100 minimum plate. And you have to bring somebody. Can't go by yourself. So that's minimum $300 to get a nice meal. It's nice. I mean, it's not a bad meal. Mike, you've had them. They're good meals, but they're not worth $300. But they're good meals. Like, you get a good meal. It's true. You will enjoy the meal. That's one part. But that's about it. It's just to be there, right? So if I go there and I got to bring two people, it's $500 a plate. I got to drop $1,500 for dinner. That's not cheap. But again, if I get the right people, it's worth it. So thank you for that. The Liberty Lady says, nobody listens to Larry Sharpe. Put on a t-shirt along with Larry Sharpe was right. Yes. Do you have an affiliate program with your Larry Sharpe online shop? And Missy, can you post that link? I don't, but I will put a shop together. I'm considering putting a shop together. The question is, what do I do in the future? Right? I'm considering a mayoral run. I'm considering a governor run. If I do either of those two or both of those two, whichever the case may be, I have to start rethinking logos, new shirts, new hoodies, all the things. So I'm not there yet. I have some time. So I appreciate if I do have some time. Kitty says, Larry's talk with Nicole Shannon. Who says I don't? Who says I don't? Pinkerbell, barriers to entry exclusively benefit the establishment. Yes, they do, Pinkerbell. You are 100% correct. And I really wish that wasn't true. I have gone out of my way to not do that. Almost every event I do, I ask only one thing: buy something at the venue. Because all my events, if you've seen me do it, I've crossed the state 6 times already, gone to every single county. Every event I go to is a free event at a locally owned venue, whatever it might be. It could be a brewery, it could be a diner, it could be a gun shop, but it's something, right? It's always something, some kind of personal, somebody owned, a family owned or personally owned shop in a town, own a city, could be a restaurant, whatever. I ask that if you come, buy something, have a beer, have a soda. If you can, if you're in a spot, have a meal, right? If you can, right? Some people, that's a lot for them, but whatever, have something, support the local thing. If you want to support me, I would say then please donate online if you want to. That's what I would say, or buy a t-shirt or something if you want to support me. Otherwise, come, please buy something at the venue. And 90% of people do that. They'll show up and if they're not in a financial situation, they'll show up and they'll buy a soda or they'll buy a beer. And I would say the same thing. If you're going to have a beer, have it here. That's all I'm saying, right? If you were planning on having a meal, have it here, right? When I'm here. So I agree with you. I try to not do that to the best of my ability. And sometimes people are broke and can't even have the soda, whatever. Sit your butt in a chair and clap. It's fine. Just sit in a chair and clap. It's fine. We'll deal with it. But I do try to get people to buy something. And almost always they do. But sometimes you have people who show up with like 4 kids. Okay, you might not want to show up to some restaurant with 4 kids and your girlfriend or your wife, and then you got to buy meals for 6 people. All right, fine. Have a soda and we'll call it even. That's fine. But anyway, I agree with you completely. Peace Logic says, a couple of months ago, I dropped $2,500 to be at an RFK private donor event. The people you get to meet is totally worth it. And the food location looking over the mountains was spectacular. Yeah, you do it for access. That's what it's for. You do it for access. 100%. You do it for access. That's what it's for. Yes. So Kitty goes on to say, Peace Logic, I wish I could do that. All I can afford is sending out Make Earth Great Again hoodie. Yeah, not everyone can afford it. And this is to Pinkerbell's point, right? The point is, and this is the part that I think some people get completely lost in. And maybe you'll understand it. If you spend all your time talking to people who can afford to drop $2,500 to come see you, that's how skewed you're going to be. Right? Pinkerbell, to your point, I'm validating what you're saying. You're totally correct. That's how skewed you're going to be. You're only going to hear people who can afford to drop $2,500 to come see you. That is a certain type of person who can do that. So you're only going to hear their views, their concerns. And their views and concerns are valid. I'm not saying they're not valid. They're totally valid. They're important. And the person who can afford to show up and buy a Coke. That person also who can show up and buy a Pepsi. That person also has value and their opinions also matter. One of my issues, I think, which maybe was good or bad, is I probably spoke to too many people who could show up and just buy a Coke, which gave me a lot of insight to what they were talking, but it also meant I couldn't raise as much money because those people just physically can't provide as much cash, right? And you do need cash to run. I probably should have a little bit more time on the opposite side, but you need both. I think they're both valuable. But again, you can see how someone could be skewed. If you spend time with those people only, you know, that's who you're talking. That's who you think. That's who you hear. You think, oh, everyone thinks this way. No, everyone doesn't. Everyone is not in the same ways as people. People think differently. Yes. So peace out to you again. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate this. Another $5. Have you considered a dinner event in New York City for all of your followers? I'd make the trip, maybe $200 to the event. I have no problem doing something like that. I may, look, I don't have a problem doing a big event with $200 a head, or I'm not against these things at all. I think they're wonderful. Great way of making money. Great way of bringing donors together. Happy to do it. 100%. Yes. And something else it does, people don't realize, is you bring new donors in, right? Because if you do an event where everyone's got to drop $500 to show up, people will show up not caring about me at all, caring about other donors they want to be around, people to make deals, close deals, get money for something else, do joint ventures. So there's a networking that's irrelevant for me, right? But if I can now woo them, I now get new donors. So this is the piece. I do an event that says, $250, whatever it is, a head. Well, that's a certain level of person who show up. People know that. They'll come, not caring about me. Some will care about me. So say, for sake of argument, half care about me. Awesome. Give me money. All life's good. The other half just paying for access. They don't care about me. They have stuff to do, the people there. Well, if they hear me speak and I meet them and I talk to them, I could draw them in to be my donor. So now these are now new donors in my world. That's why people do it, right? That is why people do it. That's the whole point. So, yes. All righty. I hope that answers your question. Would I do it? Of course I would. But okay, I should be clearer though. Of course I do it, but the problem is I don't want to only do that. And there are some candidates who only do that. And here's an example. You'll find people who will say, I crossed the state. I do an event in every county. Yes, you do a $200 a head, fundraiser in every county. Yeah, I go to a diner and say, anybody wants to show up, you ask me a question. Big difference. Big difference. So, yes. Dave says, Larry, when are you going to get your own radio show, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week? I've been offered more than once. The problem is, if I do that, it changes my entire lifestyle. If I do that, then I can't run for office. I can't be a consultant anymore, right? Maybe that's my retirement job. So yes, I've been offered that more than once. But it's not what I want. And not what I want to do. I want to be able to be my own person, do my own thing. I like doing the radio show that I do it once a week. But as you know, when you guys do it, I can't take all of your calls. I can't take all of your stuff. I have to worry about this. It's a corporate world, right? I've got to do what they say, right? And I don't mind that. I love WYSL. As you know, every Tuesday at 1 p.m., I do a regular call-in radio show. It's done remotely out of Rochester, New York. I love it. I do it every Tuesday at 1 p.m. But it is a corporate radio show. So I can't say the things I would say here. I can't do things I want to do here. I can't bring you guys on as I do here. I like the freedom of doing it this way, even though it is not lucrative at all. At all. Missy will tell you this is not lucrative. So I'm always bugging you to, like and comment so I can get more cash out of YouTube, so I can get more. To be forward, I lose money doing this. I know some of you may not know that, but Missy will tell you, I lose money doing this. I make no money on it. I lose money. The amount of time, energy, the resources I have to do, the people I have to pay, I pay more than I pay people to help me with this, right? The people who are doing this stuff, they're not all volunteers, right? So I pay them. So I lose money doing this. This is not a winning proposition. I would make far more money if I made any money, I'd make more money. And the show I do on Tuesdays, I do for free. I don't get paid for that at all. That's my volunteer. I do it because I love New York. I do it because I want to keep my ear into Western New York more than anything. It's my biggest area. People know me in New York. I could probably pull 4 or 5% out of that area easily, 6% out of that area easily in any election. So I want to be still in their ear and hear them. So I stay in that area. I do it for free. So they make money off me on that one. I make no money. So could I do this? Yeah, of course. But then I can't do other things. This is why you see me working during the day, being a consultant during the day, right? Because I got to pay bills. I live in New York City. I have to pay bills. So I hope I answered your question. Could I get it? Yeah, but then I changed my entire lifestyle. I can't do this. I'd just be a radio talk show guy. Maybe when I retire. I'm not ready to retire yet. Not yet. Missy says, Larry's relentless with his media, y'all. It's true. She knows. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Joel says, yes, our bombs are killing people, but we're creating jobs. See? There we go. Yes, see? Joseph says, I agree with you. Hold on. How many percentage is that? 10 million percent on Israel. Thank you. Yes. 10 million percent. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. God, yes. I appreciate that. Phil said, Larry was on Breaking Points, not mainstream good performance. Oh, thank you for that. Yes. I did a lot of New York stuff on that one. I did a lot of New York stuff. I really did. Yes. Yes. Let's see. Joseph, again, thank you for being a member. He goes on to say, as much as I hate Harris, Larry, I don't think you really understand how much people love her, no matter what. No, I do. I say it all the time. All my neighbors, again, I live in New York City. I live in Queens. All my neighbors love her. All of them. And you go, no, there's some hidden Trump supporters. They would tell me. They know I'm a libertarian. They know I don't care. They would tell me. And there's some. You do find some around it. Not all of them, but some people you'll find. Funny thing is, you'll get this completely, Joseph. You'll get this completely. A lot of the small business owners don't like her. Yes, like the guy who owns the deli, that guy's he's a Trump supporter. Obvious Trump supporter, 100%. But he can't say anything. Why? All the people walk into a store, they were Harris supporters. Now he knows I ran before. He'll talk to me and tell me the truth, what he feels. He won't tell his customers. He won't tell us. He ain't put a Trump sign in his store. He got to pay his bills. So he's quiet as a mouse when it comes to other customers. Me, he'll tell me. So you find a couple of the store owners in this neighborhood, they're Trump supporters. But a lot of the average people walking around, they're all about Harris. And they got excited. They didn't like Biden. But when when Harris came on, they were like, oh my God, everything's great. They like her. You're right. And they hate Trump. So some of them would have held their nose and voted for Biden anyway. But then they got Harris, and she's the anointed one. She's the anointed one. She's awesome. Brian says, saw commentary arguing that Harris's messaging is misandrist, and that's why she's losing a significant number of male voters. It's even called out that video of males supposedly supporting her. They were all paid actors. I think I have heard that more than once. I'm not sure if I'd go that far and call them misandrist. Depends how you define that, is what I would say. Depends how you define that. But I think it's just, it's a dismissiveness versus an anti, if that makes any sense. I don't think she is actively trying to attack or insult men. I don't think so. I mean, maybe I'm reading it wrong. Depends how you look at that. But she definitely doesn't care. I mean, she's putting no effort into it. It's just all women great and nothing for men. Men get nothing. So I think, yeah, that's it. Pinkerberg goes on to say, there's also a significant number of people voting for Harris who are voting against Trump. Yes. Accurate. Yes. That's also true. 100%. Yes. Absolutely. So Peace Logic says, I almost went the RFK falconing thing. Very expensive. Yes. I bet it would have been cool, though. I mean, to go falcon, I've never been falconing ever in my life. Just to go falconing would have been cool. And to go with him would have been cool. So, yes. Kitty says, I relate to him so much. My dad was my hero and died when I was 17. Yep. He was only 51. Huge Beatlemaniac and Apple fan, tech nerd and musician. His shadow looms in my heart. Yes, agreed. To share my story on this, my father died when I was 11. He was only 41. And it was devastating for me. I thought he was Superman. And I watched him go from a 200-pound man to a 90-pound man over the course of 2 years. He died slowly of cancer. And I still couldn't believe he was going to die. I just couldn't believe it. My father was Superman. Of course he'd be okay. And they told me, it wasn't like they didn't try to keep me in the dark. They told me. I just could not, I wouldn't accept it. Right in my face. He's terminal. He's going to die. You can see it. No. Nope. My dad's Superman. You're all wrong. He's never going to die. Clearly I was wrong. And I think that way that it hit me, because I just would not accept reality as a kid. I would not accept it. It was extra devastating because I couldn't accept it. It was very hard for me to accept that whatever. No. So thank you for that. Instant Defense, thank you for the $20, my friend. Ever seen Taxi Driver? Yeah, back in the day. I haven't seen it in years. I haven't seen Taxi Driver in probably, 25 years. Maybe 25 years ago, maybe. It's been a while. And when I saw it the second time, I didn't see the whole thing. Like guys were watching it. Oh my God, it's been longer than that. Maybe 30 years. It's been a while. Yes, but it's been a long time. Yes, it's been a very long time. So, but yeah, I did see it. Yeah. All right. Christine says, $500 a plate is at least a raffle. No, that's all their money. No, that's all their money. You don't get any of that. What you doing, Christine? Stop with that. That's their money. Yes, absolutely. That's their money. Mike says, Democrats are already broken. Progressives are separate and use Dem name for popularity and money. Republicans don't crack. They absorb and change main speaking points. Second point I get, right? I think the Republicans have absorbed and destroyed two movements already. They absorbed the Tea Party, just squashed it. And they absorbed the Freedom Caucus, just squashed. Liberty Movement, squashed both of those two. Squashed them both. So that's my worry. They'll just squash the medical freedom too, just squash it. I hope I'm wrong. But what I think you're missing is that's true usually for Republicans. However, things have changed since Trump. Trump has changed the party. His shadow looms large over everything. If he loses this, and right now it does not look like he's going to lose it. Peace Logic thinks the same thing. He says, I don't think Trump will lose this. Right now, it looks like he won't lose. But again, never know. I'm not ready to. He's already predicted Trump's going to win 312. We already said so. So Mike's already predicted. I haven't made a prediction yet. But if Trump loses, I think this changes. Right? I think it's changed if Trump loses. Democrats, they still come home, man. They still come home. You talking trash, but Democrats come home. They're like Republicans. They come home, right? As long as there's an evil bad man Trump, they come home, man. I've watched it. So Dave says, oh, that's Andrew. Sorry, wrong one. That wasn't for me. That was for Andrew. I apologize. So, all righty. Mike says, boiled chicken and rice at them events, steak and mashed potatoes at congressional Republicans for $500 each. Retail price $75. A nice restaurant. You're not wrong, Mike. But no, it's a big one. So retail price is probably like $50 because there's like a bunch of people. And to be clear, some of these restaurants, the whole restaurant's bought out, or the whole venue's brought out. Right? There could be in some of these events 40 tables, 10 people per table, each one $500. Each table is $5,000, 40 tables. Do the math. That's what you're going to make in one night. That's one night. Take off a little bit, whatever the piece is, right? So they're making at least $150,000 a night minimum. Yeah, they're putting some cash in their pocket. 100%. They're putting cash in their pocket. They're making a lot of money. What's 40 times? What's 40 times 500? No, 40 times. Hold on. Let me do my math real fast. I don't know what I'm even talking about. Hold on. So 10 people per table at $500. That's $5,000 times 40. Yeah, $200,000. I was right. Yeah. So take off what, $50,000 maybe for the event. Maybe $150,000 put in their pocket, and sometimes bigger than that. So yes, they make some cash. They will make some cash. So Nancy K, how are you? If Harris wins, it will have to be rigged. Who wants someone who stepped on the president, can't talk, no policy, did what she did to our border, Ukrainian populist, a liar? Nancy, you are not looking at what we're looking at. You're seeing this from your point of view. There are a lot of people, and you can see it. You saw it if you watched, if you punished yourself and watched Bill Maher last night. You see it if you watch local news. You see it if you watch CNN or MSNBC, who only think one thing: Trump bad, destroying democracy. There's another choice. It's the end of the world. Then they say, yeah, I'll take anybody. Anybody, doesn't matter. All these things, they don't care. Could be true. They don't care. Yes, absolutely. So Joseph says, support local businesses and pay cash. Yes, I think that's true. Phil says, Larry Sharpe for CEO of Stewart Shops. The CEO of Stewart did support me. Yeah, he actually gave me $4,000 last time I ran. So yes, the family does support me. Yes. So for you who don't know, upstate New York is full of Stewarts. Stewarts is like if you're in Pennsylvania, like a Wawa, if you're in Pennsylvania, or like it's basically like a convenience store, gas station type thing, like that. So yes, 100%. That's good. All righty. So I'll grab some more of these if I can. Prodvet says, please explain how to predict the persuasion election versus turnout election. If a turnout tsunami is how Harris wins. I think you're totally correct, Prodvet. I think a persuasion election is you're getting people to shift towards you in some way. And I think Trump is doing more of that right now. And this is my point about turning that vote, right? Trump has a group of people who are going to support him, no matter what. Those people are going to support him 100%, right? They're going to support him. His goal was to get others who were not going to, or those who weren't going to vote, either one. One of the reasons why he brought on the Trump, he brought on RFK Jr., Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard. Now, those people go, that's persuading them. If he does that, maybe he's okay, all those things, and it brings people back. Persuasion is doing that and also hitting specific issues that matter. You hear Trump doing it too, things like no tax on tips, right? That's getting people who weren't thinking to go, no tax on tips. I like that. I get a lot of tips. No tax on Social Security, right? That's persuasion, right? You're giving ideas or concepts or people that are different than what you were doing or can do to draw new people in. That's actually harder. It's actually hard. But if it works, often they'll stay, right? You see a lot of people who are RFK Jr. supporters, a lot of them now are Trump supporters now, and they would have never been. Many of those people weren't going to vote. A lot of people came into politics because they thought RFK Jr. was different and special. He goes to Trump. A lot of them went, okay, I'm going Trump now. So that did work in that case. Turnout was just other guys so bad, you've got to show up. We could lose this. You got to show up. We could lose. You have to show up. That's turnout, right? The other guy's so bad, you guys have to show up. I need you now. This is our chance. We're the right people. Come do this for me. That's more personal plea. That's what Democrats are doing right now. So Democrats are doing more turnout. Republicans are doing more persuasion. Now, to be forward, Trump does turn out to vote. He has more than once, right? Trump does turn out to vote. He absolutely does. I think that's the issue. That's why he's working on persuasion. He already has good turnout, generally speaking, right? He already does. Hope that answers your question. All righty. All right. Let's see if I can go here. There we go. Kitty says, my next door neighbor has a Harris sign. Yes, actually, all the boomers in the neighborhood do in Kentucky. Yes, there are people who love Harris. Yes, 100%. There are people who do. This isn't like, something crazy. It's all the time. John says, people don't love Harris. They love whoever the Democratic darling is. Well, I think that there's some value to that. I think there's some truth to that. That's not always true, though. People really loved Obama. They really did. They thought he was the magic man. They really loved him. There was, and it still is some of that. And now they love Michelle Obama. They love the Obamas, right? They used to love Bill Clinton. Clinton's still popular, but not the same as he used to. You go back to the late 90s, Clinton left with a 60% approval rating. Let me repeat that. Bill Clinton left the White House with a 60% approval rating. People loved Bill Clinton. They're not true anymore now, right? But they loved him. It wasn't just he was a Democrat. They loved him. They loved him. He was a very popular president. More popular than people take. I mean, he left at 60% approval. That's insane. So I can't think of anyone who's left more than that. Did Reagan leave that high? Reagan might have. I don't remember. Reagan might have left that high. He was very popular too. People loved Reagan, right? So, and they loved Obama. Reagan, Clinton, Obama, last two that they just absolutely loved. I think the last couple one people haven't loved. They've loved more that than the Democratic darling. If that's true. Yes, I think that's accurate. So, yeah. Joel says, so ridiculous. Well, he makes the best sandwiches in town, but he's going to vote for Trump, so I'll eat worse sandwiches. Yes. As ridiculous as that is, yes. They would rather eat worse sandwiches from a guy who's going to vote for Harris than eat better sandwiches from a guy who votes for Trump. Yes, it is crazy. And yes, you are right. Yes. 100% true. Yes. That's good. All right. Peace Logic says, I don't know what would happen if I put a Trump sign in front of my lawn in Fairfax County, although I did get a lot of waves from my neighbors and winks for the RFK sign. Yeah, I don't know. Fairfax, yeah, that's a blue county. So yeah, maybe. Yes. Love my canine. Thank you for being a member. Is Harris weaker than a typical Democrat president candidate? Yes, she is. She's not a good candidate. She just isn't. You can tell she's not a good candidate. She's not good at this. She is weaker than many. I think actually, and this may sound crazy, I think Newsom's a better candidate. And I'm not a Newsom fan at all. I think he's a terrible governor. But he's a better candidate. He's good on his feet. He's smart, not afraid to fight, comes across as strong, good looking, knows his stuff. He's a better candidate. He's, again, terrible governor, better candidate. You have the team that Harris had, unless they all quit. The rumors I heard more than once from you guys tell me that a bunch of her team quit. I actually didn't hear that. But the team she had for her debate, you give that team to Newsom, oh, yeah, he might win. Doesn't matter how bad California is. Doesn't matter. He's a very good candidate. With a good team, tough to beat that guy. And he would debate Trump too. And he's good on the stump. Newsom's a good candidate. Again, I'm not saying a good governor. Those are two separate things. Completely separate things. But he's a good candidate. He is. I know some of you just want to vomit when you think about him. I know he's a terrible governor. And a bad person. Let me add on top of that. Not only is he a terrible governor, he's also a bad person. But great candidate. Adrian says, Atlas Intel predicts Trump wins PA and Michigan. Different topic. I'm with you on sad at what our government has done or has done for years. Yes. If Trump wins both PA and Michigan, I don't know how Harris wins this thing. I mean, I don't know how. If that's right, I don't know how she does it. Yes, I don't know. Looking over at Rumble, Space Jason says, is there an equivalent on the right? How many undeniable actual anti-American communists / Marxists than are left? Most consequential election in my life, hyperbolic. Yes. If I understand what you're saying. Many people on the left, or left-leaning, I'll say. I can't say on the left because it depends when you look at that. Who lean left would look at the right as completely authoritarian, completely right-wing, even fascist. So I think they would say that, right? They're going to destroy democracy. And I think that they think Jan 6 is a perfect example of that. And I hear that all the time. That's brought up all the time. So I think, yes, I think that's how they look at it. Yeah. I hope I answered your question. I'm not sure if I did or not. John says she's apathetic towards men. It's obvious. You're right, John. I think that's obvious. She's not anti-man. I don't think that's true. She just doesn't care. She doesn't see it as a problem, as an issue. Those issues don't matter. Yeah. At all. So yeah. All right, Matt, how are you? Matt says, I've said many times, in 2016, my wife and I were in the Philly area a few weeks before the election. There were Trump signs everywhere on people's lawns and businesses, and almost no Biden signs. But Biden won the counties in the area. Never really sat well with me. Oh, that's interesting. Upstate New York, last I remember, there weren't that many Trump signs as I used to see. There used to be, I mean, there's still some like in the rural areas, you'll still find farmers who like literally paint their barns Trump 2024. You'll still see that. But it's not as it used to be. Not as much. So, yeah. All right. Joseph says, and after the 500 plate is done and the candidate loses, the leftover campaign funds contribute to the most major corruption, as you said. Yes. Oh, yeah, they keep that money. Right? Well, again, why did this come to me? Because they need the money for the candidate? No. They need the money for grifting. They got to pay consultants and stuff. They got to pay. This is a jobs program for me. This is my jobs program. It's for me. Political consultant jobs program. That's all it is. 100%. Yes. That's what that is. All righty. Christine says, I heard Tulsi say that Shah and RFK are lining up Trump's cabinet. Shanahan, I guess. Okay. And support a position in case he wins. I trust both of them. It might not be horrible. I hope you're right. Right? I hope you're right. I do. And I'm feeling better. Right? I am feeling better about it because of what was said recently. I am. So, yes. The AC says, keto bread, legit or not? It is. Just remember something. Whenever you do any keto replacements, you do keto replacements, generally speaking, if you are on what's called maintenance. For those who don't know about how keto works is, if you're aggressively trying to lose weight, you're not maintenance. You want to be in as deep keto as you can get, as clean as the keto as you can get. You want to make sure your carb level is under 20, if not better, under 10 carbs per day. That's if you're actively trying to aggressively lose weight. If you're not, if you're just happy, I'm in maintenance, right? So I'm not trying to actively lose weight. I'm past those. I'm 14 years. I'm past that. I'm pretty happy with my weight. I do slowly still. It's going to sound interesting. I'm happy to share this with you. I will do a keto show, but this year I probably started the year somewhere around 200 pounds. I'm 5'11". And now I'm probably around 190. So I probably lost about a pound a month, just slowly losing weight, not even trying. So I tend to lose weight slowly, just because I just slowly lose weight because I keep my carbs very low. But I'm on maintenance, and if I'm going to have some keto bread or something like that, I will here or there, right? But I think I told you I had a full keto Thanksgiving last year. I probably have another full keto Thanksgiving this year, which you'll have like cauliflower and stuff. It keeps your carbs low. It's not zero carbs. It's just low carbs. It keeps your fiber high. The concept is the fiber goes through you, so the carbs don't get a chance to be absorbed. So the fiber cancels out the carbs. That's what most of the keto bread and keto things are. High fiber, low carbs, pushes the carbs out. So you release them without absorbing them. So yeah, it's a real thing. It does work. But if you're saying I want to lose weight fast, I wouldn't do keto bread. I'd stay hardcore keto, get close to the weight you want to be. And when you're at close to what you want, I would then go into things like keto bread and go into more maintenance. I'm in maintenance. So last year were a lot of changes for me last year, particularly after my ass kicking that I took in 2022. And I put on weight. I broke my keto many times, high cortisol levels. So I was putting on weight. Not much, but I was putting on weight. People who saw me saw I got heavier. And so I wanted to start taking it off again. So I just went back onto my normal keto and I just slowly started taking it off. So I'm down about 190, which is a good weight for me. Is about 190, 195. I usually hover around 195 is what I usually do. I'm a little bit skinnier than I usually am. I usually hover around 195, give or take, is my normal weight. Now I'm down about 190. I might keep going down because I'm thinking about doing a mayoral run. And if I do that, I want to get thinner because sadly, whether you like it or not, people judge you on your weight. They just do. So if you're heavy and you become a public figure, people look at you a different way. So if I'm going to be a public figure again, I want to keep my weight down because people judge me and I'm looking for votes. So yes, as sad as that sounds, it is true. So, all righty. Peace loud. Thank you for the $5. Lara, you have one of the best shows. Thank you. Well, I do want you to grow. I love the intimacy of a small group. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But that's why I keep the members, right? So I keep the members. Absolutely. So the AC says Harris is giving the finger to Muslims. I'd be very surprised if she wins Michigan. Yes, which is why I'm saying get out of Michigan. She went to Michigan. Why? Why go to Michigan? I'm with you, AC. Why go to Michigan? Leave. Get out of there. Put somebody else in there. Put Waltz in there. Don't you have a Muslim Democratic Party you can put there? Jill Stein got a great Muslim there. I don't know what she's making look bad. I agree. Yes. Joel says the TAC keto bread very expensive. I skip it. Yeah, it depends if you know. I'll bring this piece up. It depends on how you want. Do you want to be hardcore? And I think generally speaking, when you first start keto, you should try to be hardcore. You should shock your body into trying to be hardcore and then see where you find yourself, right? I feel like if you're not hardcore, it's too easy for you to slip back. That's just my view. You may be different. That's my view. So I think you reintroduce things like keto bread and such as you want to. And you also do it when you're around other people, right? So when my daughter's here, sometimes she wants to have non-keto type keto stuff, right? She's in college now, but when she's here, she'll sometimes be like, hey, Dad, can we have some wraps? So we'll have keto wraps, which is egg white wraps, because she wants some wraps. So we'll do that kind of thing. So I do introduce it when other people are around and I want to enjoy. So I would, look, the advantage is now, when I started keto, we didn't have this kind of stuff. Now you have it. Enjoy it when you can. That's just my view. Do as you see fit. So, all righty. Let me see if I can grab some more of these if I can. All right. Adrian says, if you look at speeches and interviews RFK did 20 or 30 years ago, his values have been consistent on the causes he fights for, unless he learns new facts. True. And he has changed also. Yes. Dave goes on to say, a $5,000 a plate dinner is the Alice. Yes, it's $5,000 a plate. Think about how much money you made. How many people were there? I don't know how many people were there. Anybody know how many people were there? Multiply that number by 5,000. That's how much cash they made, right? That's how much cash they made. Yes. 100%. 100%. So, Proud Vet says, for your analysis, Georgia over 1 million early votes. What was that many? 1 million. Wow. Wow. That's a lot. I did not realize that. 75% over the age of 50, women 55%, top age group, voters over the age 65. Wow. Okay. We'll see what's up. Okay. All righty. All right. That Liberty Lady. Larry, have you gone over your voting card before since you started voting? Going over your voting card? I'm trying to tell my husband, but he wanted to get it right. Voting card? I don't know I'm not sure what you mean by that. What's gone over your voting card? If you can tell me, I want to make sure. Let me know when you clarify if you don't mind. I'm not sure what you're asking me. Joel says, I'm near Albany. There are Harris signs all over. Yep. But some Trump signs. The difference is the Trump signs not getting torn down to 2020. Oh, I remember that. Yes. I remember that. Yes. 100%. Sarah says, thank you for being a member. I deliver a lot of my farm eggs to houses with Kamala, obviously, signs. Why are signs needed in a state that is so blue? Oregon. Oof, Newsom is greasy. I'm from San Francisco. I know those two men in person. Oh, yeah. Newsom's a terrible guy. I agree. But, I mean, I just got to say, he's a good candidate. I've watched him work. He is savvy. He is smooth. He is good at what he does. That's why he's governor of California. And that's why he's going to keep winning, because he's good at what, and he knows how to play the way, play people. He's good at what he does. The AC says, Larry, terrible, agreed, Larry, a terrible governor, but better candidate than Harris. Correct. Remember, she almost lost her AG race to Republican California. Yes, she's a bad candidate. Newsom's a very good candidate. 100%. Absolutely true. Yes, it is challenging, but he really can. Christine says, Newsom can make up lies on the spot without skipping his beat. That's a skilled candidate. I'm not making a judgment on this. I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's a good person. He's not. I'm not saying a good governor. He's not. Well, just saying, he's good at what he does, Christine. He's good at what he does. Yes. Joseph, thank you for being a member. He says, the right says the left's going to destroy democracy. The left says the right's going to destroy democracy. Meanwhile, there's no democracy. That should literally be the tagline for my show now, Joseph. The right says the left is going to destroy democracy. The left says the right is going to destroy democracy. Meanwhile, there's no democracy. It's like that meme, which I love, the meme from The Matrix, when the kid is, the bald-headed kid is trying to bend the spoon. And then Neo is there watching him. And he says, when trying to bend the spoon, instead of trying to bend the spoon, don't think about bending the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, focus on the truth. And he goes, what truth? There is no spoon. So yeah, instead of trying to fix democracy, that's impossible. Focus on the truth. What's that? There is no democracy. So yes, perfectly. I do appreciate that. Yes, that's very good. Adrian says, AT Intel also thinks Harris might win Arizona, Nevada, South Carolina. 269 tie. Trump will win. That's true. If there's a tie, Trump will win. And you might say, why would Trump win? Because it goes to the states, goes to the Congress. Each state gets one vote. Trump will have more states. And all you need is 26. Trump will have at least 26 states. He might have 27, 28. He'll at least have 26 states, guaranteed. So you are correct, Adrian. If it is a tie, Trump will win. 12th Amendment will kick in, and Trump will win. That's accurate, yes. So yeah, so Harris has to win. A tie is a win for Trump. Yes. Joseph goes on to say 100% in upstate New York Trumpsters. They're not as outspoken as in 2016, and a whole bunch have moved out of New York. This is what I keep telling people thank you, Joseph, for this, who keep telling me, oh, Trump could win New York. The people who would have voted for him, they're in Florida now. They're in North Carolina. They're in Tennessee. They're leaving this. They're not here anymore. We lose 200,000 to 300,000 a year. There are more independents in New York than there are Republicans. Democrats outnumber Republicans almost 3-1. No way. Trump does not win the state. It doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. And a lot of people on the right here in New York State, they've given up. There are some parts of this state where 1 in 6 people vote, and all those areas are rural. They're rural areas that are red, that have given up and think, why bother? So you got low turnout and low numbers. Even though Harris is a terrible candidate, she does not win New York. It's not a thing. Joseph, you're correct. She's not going to win New York. It's just not going to happen. There's just no way. So the AC says, a fact, I think. The keto bread is generally modified so that it's all fiber. Man. Yeah, to be clear, this is one of the reasons why I don't do most of the keto stuff, like the keto this, keto that, is most of it is heavily processed. It's difficult to find keto bread or keto, chocolate or keto this that's not heavily processed. You can find it, but this goes, to the other comment, which is Joel's comment. It's super expensive. Like, you can get it, but you are paying, you're paying $10 for a candy bar, that kind of thing. You're paying a lot of money. Now, again, if that's your lifestyle and you want to always have a candy bar, and you have a candy bar, whatever, once every, couple of months, you don't care dropping $10 for a candy bar once in a while, enjoy, right? I mean, it's your money, make your lifestyle as you see fit. Just understand, if you want to have something keto, a sweet chocolate treat or something like that, it's not ultra processed, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And if you're okay with it, you do you, right? For me to have a keto Thanksgiving, it cost me more than normal Thanksgiving would. It did. And in time, because we made it all from scratch, but me and my daughters making it, totally worth it. Once a year, I do it every year. Totally worth it. Tons of time doing it, but I love doing it with my daughters. And more money, don't care. So if that's how you would use it, I think it's a wonderful idea. We made it from scratch, so it wasn't ultra processed, right? So that's how I got around ultra processed. We made it ourselves. We bought every ingredient separately, and it cost cash because we didn't use half the ingredients because it was for one meal. So it cost me more money and took me a lot more time. Totally worth it. I would do it again. Totally happy. So you have to decide what makes the most sense for you, what you value more, and when. So yeah, I think that's the issue. So yes. All right. Joseph goes on to say, losing consistently. I'm almost down 13 pounds this month. Thanks to you, Larry. Brother, that's awesome. That is awesome, man. I love that. You keep going. You go as far as you want to. AC's doing, are you doing OMAD? For those of you who know, OMAD is one meal a day. That's what OMAD is. So you eat one meal, you fast for 23 and a half, 24 hours, 23 hours, one meal. Again, that is hardcore fasting. That's hardcore fasting. I rarely do OMAD. I mean, my daughter's on keto, so she likes playing games with us. So she'll be like, okay, we'll do like OMAD once. And I'll do it with her because it's just fun to do it with her. So I'll do it. But otherwise, I usually do 18-6 fasting. I usually eat between 1 and 6. So I eat between and 6. My last meal is at 6. I brush my teeth. I'm done eating, and I only have water after that for this show and all the shows afterwards. I don't eat again until then. I'll eat tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow I'll eat at noon. So I will not eat for 18 hours. That's what I use. That's my norm, is 18. But I don't always do that. Sometimes I don't. I have dinner, whatever. Then I don't do it. If I have something special happening, I'll break. So again, it's my lifestyle. So if all of a sudden I don't do it, so what? Doesn't matter. So either way. So yeah. But OMAD, that's hardcore. I love that. That's good stuff. Fasting, by the way, puts you in a thing called autophagy. Autophagy is a way of cleaning out your system. That's why fasting works so well. So I'll cover that when I do my keto show when the time comes. So Christine goes on to say, Harris is giving a finger to Christians too. I saw that. She was anti-Christian. I saw that. Excuse me. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Mike's is amazing. 1 inch shorter and 25 pounds lighter. I've never been over 175. I thought we were closer in weight. No, I just look good. That's it. That's it. No, I have gone when I was at my heaviest, I was 240. You should not be 240 and 5'11. And I was 240 and 5'11. That was my heaviest. That's when I was like, I'm done, I'm out. And I dropped 40 pounds 2 months. It's down 200 pounds. Like that. Just down to it. Down 200 pounds. Yeah. So I've been hovering between 190 and 200 for 14 years. Right in that area. 190, 200. Sometimes if I like get really stressed, a lot of cortisol, if I don't work out at all, if I get really lazy, I might break 200, 205. I might go that high if I start doing that. Or if I start getting lazy with my keto, I have like massive cheat weeks. Happens once in a while, like during Christmas or holidays, it may pop up like 205 or so. I popped up a bit when I was having a tough time last year. So I went up a little bit, but usually I hover between 190 and 200 is my normal. When I do hardcore campaigning, I will always drop under 190. Always. When I was done with my governor race 2019, I was under 180. It's like 179, which is the lowest I'd been since my Marine Corps days. So yeah, I hovered around 170 my Marine Corps days. That's where I was. I hovered in that area. So yeah. Anyway, I tried that. There we go. All righty. Let's see. ACs, I've been doing keto off and on for 20 years. Nice. I love that. Yes. Oh yeah, I see. Right. Someone at the crowd, Kamal's rally said Jesus is Lord, and Kamala told them you're at the wrong rally. Yeah, not the right thing to say. Yes, not the best thing to say. Yeah, absolutely. So, Epifora says, when are you coming up to New York? I don't know yet this year. This year's been a tough one for me. I will try to get back up if I can. I will try. I'm not sure I can. Phil says, Gaffigan says they raised close to $10 million. Wow, $10 million one night. Man. Jeez. I'm jealous of that. Oh, Brian agrees. Yeah, just Google according to the Catholic Standard, Al Smith didn't raise $10 million. Jeez. We know what it is. It's not just that, right? It's a fundraiser. So you pay $5,000 per plate to get there, and they still make you pay. I know I run those fundraisers. Not that much. I wish I'd done that. Like when we do galas, right? Libertarians do galas. Nowhere near this. I mean, not even close. The biggest one I did was for Gary Johnson in 2016. That one raised $130,000. And for a libertarian candidate, that's a lot. One night, that's a lot of money. That's blown out of the. I don't know any night where a libertarian candidate raised 130 grand in one night. Like that's obviously for Democrats, Republicans. Yeah, that's the norm. For libertarian candidate, that is a lot of money. I've also raised money in like other events for state parties. I'll go in and they'll charge $250 to show up, or $200 to show up to a plate. And I'll still pull 40 grand out of the room, 30 grand in the room. So they'll raise a bunch of money for that. And then I'll raise another 10, 20, 30 grand. So we'll raise a bunch of money. So yes. So, all righty. Kitty says, boomer women have TDS the worst. Yes. Boomer people are the most stuck in their way. They're the most stuck in their way. You're totally correct, Kitty. You hit that perfectly. Yes. Joseph says, Ray Keto, I agree with you about the word lifestyle versus diet. Discipline's the key, but stress and negative criticism just creates more stress eating. Yes. And I do it too. Look, I'm not perfect at this. I screw up too. Don't get me wrong. My weight does fluctuate, right? I screw up at this too. But I've been doing it so long, I don't have the cravings anymore, right? When I first started doing it, I would have cravings. Now I don't. Like if I don't have carbs for 9 months, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Like something's like I haven't had potatoes in years. It doesn't bother me anymore. Rice. I had rice last year, I think. I had some rice. I was with my daughter in a sushi restaurant and I decided to have some rice. But that's like one time in 2 years. So, but when I first did it, I would crave. I used to love pizza. I used to love pizza, soda, coffee, ice cream. Love them. Now I could see them and don't even care. I haven't had pizza no, I did have pizza. I had pizza with my youngest daughter last year also. Last year was not a good year for me. So yeah, pizza with my youngest daughter. So I did have some, yeah. I did have some last year, but just rare. That's all I'm saying. It is rare. And the more you do it, the easier that it gets, right? The more you do it, the easier, 100%. So Adrian says the opposite. She says to Kitty, I'm a boomer and my kids are TDS. There we go. There we go. So the reverse does happen. So it does happen. Yes. Dave says, if it's 269, 269, Trump wins the House, what if Democrats go to the Senate? Will the Democrats vote for Walz? It goes again by state. That's the issue. State. So if the Democrats have more states, they could, in theory, pick Walz. But the reality is, if I remember how it works, they have to pick from the top 2. So I think they could still, I mean, in theory, they could pick Walz. They could, in theory. But the question is, why would they? Would you want Walz in there? I guess maybe. You know, it's a good point. I would think you would have to, there'd have to be some horse trading back and forth, right? Horse trading back and forth, maybe. Because you're right, they could do it, Dave. Your point's a valid one. They could. If the Democrats control the House, they could, in theory, pick Walz as the VP. You're right, they could. The question is, what would they do? Good question. And you put Walz in a tough spot, having to be part of that. But then again, no. All right, let me, now that I'm thinking through this, the VP being part of the administration is a new thing, right? It is a thing that now is done, but they don't have to. They could say, Walz, your job is running the Senate. I don't want to see you in the White House at all. Not required, right? They do that now. That's a thing you do now, but you don't have to. They can say, Walz, okay, you're the vice president. Your job by the Constitution is you are president of the Senate. Good luck. I don't want to ever see you in the White House. They don't have to come. They don't have to be part of the administration. It's not a rule. It's a custom. Because remember, from the Constitution, the vice president was the person with the second highest votes. The parties took this over. Utterly unconstitutional. The parties took it over because they didn't want anybody to be in the presidency who wasn't voted for. But we don't care about that. We don't care about what the people think. We care about what the parties think. So we changed those rules completely. So you know what? You're right. They could do it, and they would just shove him there. They go, okay, great. You can over there. So it could work. I appreciate that mindset making me think that way. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, that's good. So AC says $6.29 for a loaf. Well, there we go. There we go. Christine says, did you make pumpkin pie? No, we made apple pie, which, by the way, is actually made with flavoring, which is not the best thing, but you got to get the natural flavoring, which again costs even more. You got to get that flavoring and zucchini. So you use zucchini for the texture of apples for apple pie, and you use flavoring to make it taste like apples when it's zucchini. So yes, that's how you make keto apple pie. So yeah, that's good. Sarah says, my favorite thing for keto carbs is winter squash spaghetti. Yes, it is good. I agree. That is true. Yes, 100%. Yes, it is. It is very, very challenging. Oh, AC says, yep, autophagy. Yes, so we do know this. There we go. And you were at 267 at 5'8". Dude, you were big. That's a big boy right there. You was a big boy. Okay. There we go. Phil says, I've lost about 120 pounds since January. Dude, Phil, good for you, bro. That's like 12 pounds a month. Holy crap. That's amazing. You should try keto. I think it's a wonderful idea. Yes. Okay, wait, AC, you went down to 167? That's 100 pounds, dude. Thoroughly impressive. And Phil lost 120. You guys are making me look bad. I thought I was cool about 40 pounds. I'm like, nobody. Wow. That's amazing. Guys, well done. I love that. Yes. Adrian says, muscle weighs more than fat. That's true. A lot of muscle in the brain area. Big muscles. Big muscles. I do love it. Guys, I'm going to ask you one more time, please. Please do click the button known as like. I'm seeing a lot of people aren't clicking the button. Please click the button. I know you think it doesn't matter. It does tremendously. You know how shadow banned I am. You know how they're always trying to push me out. Please do so. If you haven't shared this already, please share it wherever you're on. Just share it. Whatever, just share it. If you haven't subscribed, that's going to hurt my algorithms. Ooh, I said the whole full word. Now they're going to freaking battle man me. What was that? Too fast, I hope. Yes, do that, please. Doesn't matter. If you want to become a member, again, I've opened up membership now on Sharpe Way also. So if you'd rather be a member on Sharpe Way, feel free. You can join. You can be a member on Sharpe Way, or you can be a member on Larry Sharpe. Doesn't matter. Both of those YouTube channels are there. Why do I have two of them? Larry, why do I have two channels? In case one gets trashed. That is why I have two channels. One gets trashed, I have another. That's why I have two Twitters. That's why I have two Facebooks. That's why I have all of them in case one gets trashed, because I know how bad it is. I saw 2020 when I got trashed. I want to defend myself. That's why I have it. So either one you want, please. If you can subscribe to both, that's always helpful. If you can, I love that either way, but you can become a member either if you want to. We'll super chat in either of them also. But the button that is like does matter. It is important. That's why I keep bugging you guys for it, because it really does matter. So yes. Peace, lads. Thank you for the $5. If I'm voting for Trump because of RFK, should I vote down the line Republican for Congress? Do the power needed to make change? It probably shouldn't matter, to be forward with you. Unless you prefer Republicans, Democrats, then yes. I mean, I would use my opinion. I would use your personal judgment on that, right? Because the reality of it is, unless maybe the Senate, because if you want, maybe the Senate, because you might want Trump's people to be, confirmed. So maybe Senate would be something to care about. That would be good. But the idea of the Congress, I mean, most of it's going to be internal. So it's going to be executive orders, and it's also going to be changing and turning the actual deep state. So it shouldn't be as important. But yes, if you want to, please, but it won't be as important, except the Senate for confirming. Rather it is, I think most people will be able to do their jobs internally without the Senate or without the Congress. I believe so, for what he's talking about. I hope that's clear. So there we go. Nancy says, once and never Trumper, not hard to get him. He's a one-man show. He listens but makes up his own mind. He's not arrogant, but will give himself credit when he makes difficult decisions. Was that for me or for that was him? I'm not sure what that was. Yeah, I'm not sure, but okay. Sure. There we go. So, all righty. Guys, I want to say thank you for tonight. I appreciate it. I will not be on tomorrow, Sunday. I will be off on Sunday, but I'll be back on Monday, 9 p.m. with my, what will be the men's vote. What will that happen here with actually 4 men on my panel show? Usually I have lots of women on my panel show, but this Monday it will be all males all the time. I'm just kidding. Just for Monday at 9. So I'll see you then. Tuesday again, I am doing my normal show. I'll be doing another show Tuesday afternoon, which I'll tell you about. Another one Tuesday night. So I'll be doing a bunch of shows. And Tuesday night is also the town hall. Also the town hall, Maha town hall with Trump and Tulsi and RFK Jr. at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can watch that also. And yes, Pretty Bro says it is Man Monday. Absolutely, guys. Remember, after this, please leave a comment afterwards if you would, wherever you're watching. Put a comment down. It is good for Mr. Rhythm. I said it right this time. Al Gore, Mr. Rhythm. I will see you all very soon.